March Madness continues from downtown St. Louis as we buckle up for a 7-10 battle in the West. The Hurricanes from Miami and the Missouri Tigers playing only 2 short hours away from their campus in Columbia. And they will have this place rocking. And we check in with John Rothstein.
All right, Spiro, we were talking about the geographic situation around this game. This arena is just over 100 miles away from Missouri's campus in Columbia, but it's over 1,000 miles away from Miami's campus in Coral Gables. We talked about Jay Lucas about this. He downplayed it. He said it's just another game for Miami. Something to keep an eye on, though. This is obviously a very pro-Missouri crowd.
Yeah, you know what, John, as a player, I think the last thing you want to dwell on is the travel, the geographic component of this thing. What really matters is you're playing on a court 94 feet, and that's the geography that really matters. So if you're a young kid coming into this situation, you have enough to worry about in terms of the pressure to play in a game like this than to rather worry about the travel, etc. But I will add this, though, Spiro. There's a tilt to this building with the Missouri fans. There's no question about that, John.
You can feel the energy in this place. Missouri 20-12. They went 10-8 in the SEC, finished tied for 7th in that conference with Georgia and Kentucky. And here facing Miami, a team that finished 25th in the final AP poll. And who's going to move on as we are off and running? Kip Kissinger, Courtney Green, Sean Hall, our veteran officiating crew here in St. Louis.
Do they use the size initially to go down and try to post it up and get it on the blocks?
This is Mitchell, the leading scorer. Tough catch underneath by Sean Phillips. A turnover.
To just feel the first time up and down the floor, the pace is going to be pretty good in this game. Both teams like to push it.
Well, Trey Donaldson's been in a few pressure games in his career, hasn't he? Auburn, Michigan, now leading this Miami program. This is Renew, the Indiana transfer, spinning lefty shot, short.
That's the key, too, with defending him and scouting him. He loves to come back to that shoulder and get that left hook, jump hook going, started early.
Mitchell thought about the three. He's going to reset. This is T.O. Barrett, the sophomore out of Oklahoma City. Lets it rip too much. And the rebound tracked down by Dante Allen. Minute gone by. Still looking for our first points. Donaldson, nifty little crossover. Steps back short.
Missed shots, but the pace. They still look to push it.
Here comes Barrett. Small pass. Underneath, it's Jaden Stone.
What a look by Pierce, also off the bounce. A little bounce pass to make things happen early on for Missouri.
Stone, the 25-year-old graduate transfer in his first season in this Missouri program. That is Renew, high off glass.
Yeah, one of the things, he's so good at his body position. He knows when he puts the ball on the floor, it's a step to get himself set up for that little delivery.
Whoa. Skip pass, they get it to Pierce. In and out, and the rebound controlled by Allen.
There's that Henderson that went flying across the floor just then.
Both teams, one of their first 3 from the field. Here comes Renew. Boy, pretty spin, and then he missed it. Everything but the finish.
You see where he went, though, with that shot, Spiro. He shoots that ball and turns over. Wet spot, they're pointing out wet spots. This is the kind of crazy possession right here. But he loves to go to that left side over that right shoulder.
Triple drive by Barrett. Poked away, sealed off nicely done by Donaldson. Barrett trying to force the issue underneath. But what a catch. Underneath, it was Henderson cutting, and it's a travel.
Boy, the last 2 trips up and down the floor, guys are stumbling, guys are falling. I'm not sure they're really getting hit either.
And for a lot of these guys experiencing the tournament for the first time, you just can never prepare for the early couple of minutes of a tournament game. The energy, especially with this kind of juice crowd. Trying to play through some of the early jitters.
Sometimes it's good to get to that first media timeout to sit down and relax for 30 seconds or so.
T.O. Barrett holding. This is Mitchell. deep in the corner, well short.
Got a layup if they hurry.
Donaldson trying to beat the head to the basket. Mitchell got a fingertip on it.
They didn't hurry quite enough.
Here comes Mitchell, lofting, beautiful defense inside. What a snatch by Uday. Here's Donaldson, basket hanging. Big three for the Hurricanes.
And a good sense just then by Donaldson, too, to drift to that right corner. That's an available spot for him to go down there and quickly get a shot off as they come back into a zone look.
Career year in scoring for Donaldson. And he's given the Hurricanes their first three of the night. Just under 4 minutes gone by. Catch and shoot. Pierce in the corner. So Missouri is all of their first three from deep. Early offense, Renew. That's short. So Miami now 2 of 8 from the field. Missouri, meantime, at this end is one of their first 5. Early stages in this 7-10 matchup in the West region here in St. Louis.
And that clock is just drifting along. Not many whistles.
Well, a nice little cut. Phillips had it poked away with what appeared to be an open layup coming, but active hands by Miami, and another Tigers turnover.
Not a whole lot of action on the scoring side here, but keeping the action at the defensive end of the floor.
Sellout crowd, standing room only here in St. Louis. Hasn't been a ton of scoring, but it has been high intensity with the Hurricanes holding an early 3-point lead.
Yes, sir, the intensity has been there, but 3 of 13 for both of these teams combined shooting the basketball. So see if they get untracked a little bit, but the pace has been so quick that sometimes you think you're outrunning the flow of the game from an offensive standpoint and getting into their sets enough times to get a good look off.
Jay Lucas has inserted True Washington into the game. Meantime, Anthony Robinson is in for the first time for Dennis Gates. 2 big pieces for both of these 2 teams. Here comes Robinson. Beautiful cut. The officials are going to count the basket for Jaden Stone with an early fast break opportunity for the Tigers.
And that was a late delivery just then, waiting for him to get in the spot that he could find, quickly catch and go to the basket with it, but it clearly hits the backboard right there. And then it's the old wedgie.
An aided wedgie.
There you go.
So just under 5 minutes gone by. 1-point game. Miami and Missouri here in St. Louis.
The last trip down, Miami tried to lob. This is a tough team to lob over.
Donaldson, pass underneath, and then the defense. Uday turned back.
Phillips all over that one. Good ball fake.
Stone, hard fake, short. So Missouri still looking for its first triple. They're 0-4 from deep.
The anticipation with their crowd, too.
Henderson short, and that is Renew. Beautiful stick back.
Boy, he's got great hands. Uses them around the rim just to catch and go and touch, and keeping him off the offensive glass as Miami shows his zone again.
All ACC first team was Renew, playing for his hometown team after 3 years in Bloomington. And he's given the Hurricanes a 3-point lead. This is Robinson. Gonna pull up from deep, splash! Began the year as a starter for Dennis Gates. Last 14 as a reserve. One of the elite defenders in the SEC, and he can stroke it too.
Yeah, when he gets it going, he can get a hot hand, so watch for that.
What a matchup. Renew against Mitchell. Too much. Well played underneath. Last touch by the Tigers.
Yeah, not a good decision by Renew just then, but here you just straighten it up. Beautiful rotation, just a real good look for Robinson just then. If he can get untracked early, that's a big plus for Missouri.
So an underneath out of bounds for the Hurricanes with 9 seconds to shoot.
Good hands just then by Pierce to knock that one out of bounds.
Noam Dovrat is the inbounder for Miami. 8 seconds to shoot, so 1 second coming off the timer. on the deflection.
And watch Dovrat with his three-point shooting ability.
Henderson in the crowd, fights his way into the paint, deflected out to Donaldson. This is Washington, big three for Miami.
And I love when teams score with less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. They're willing to make that extra pass, and that was just a perfect example of it right there.
Washington, 2 NCAA tournament appearances previously with New Mexico under Richard Pitino and Albuquerque. And what a player he's become for this Miami program. Pierce not even close.
Yep, just barely grazed the iron on the left side. He's a shooter.
Dovrat thought about it into the corner. Henderson slices in. Good movement by Miami. The skip. Washington. Exquisite pass as he drops it down to Uday.
Both sides of the floor. Exceptional play by Miami to get the Missouri rotating back and forth. Not quick enough on that delivery when they put it on the floor to get some action.
Assist numbers for both teams as we get contact. Mitchell bumped underneath. Watch every men's game live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now and stay up to date on all the tournament action. That whistle, the first foul on either team. This thing just felt like a track meet.
It really did, which has been surprising because there's been a lot of activity underneath the baskets also. Guys just avoiding those fouls until just then.
Malik Renew back in after a brief rest. Meantime, Jacob Cruz is in for Dennis Gates. Young man who's been a remarkable story. 6th year of college basketball. Young man who's had his moments for this team this season. Corner three won't go that time from Stone. Hurricanes looking to push. Washington's going to get him reset. Finished 3rd in the ACC 6th Man of the Year vote this season. An immediate impact on this Miami team. A bit too much, trying to follow the miss. Washington beats Cruz to it. Dovrat, deep shot. And the Hurricanes unable to capitalize.
Without scoring much, this pace is incredible right now. No fouling, limited scoring.
Miami's defense has kept Mitchell at bay. Stone open three, got it!
Good decision there by Mitchell. Did you see how he waited for that double team to slide over to him? It's not when they're really coming at you, but when they get close to you, it's a good time to release that pass. Well done.
Stone, a former 20-point-per-game scorer at Detroit Mercy.
Just picked up that foul out front.
Big shot for the Tigers to try to get their offense on track here in St. Louis. Hurricanes and Tigers on the big stage.
Done such a good job on Mark Mitchell so far.
You know, we're just giving them different looks. Can't let them get comfortable. Trying to mix up the coverages and how we're guarding them just to keep them guessing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. What did you say?
Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you.
You gotta have a good rest of the day.
It's hard to hear in here. It's been loud with this hometown crowd from Missouri. Boy, we enjoyed our time with Jay Lucas yesterday. Young man doing it as a first-year head coach at the age of 37. He said, I always knew I'd coach. I just never thought it would happen so quickly. Broke in 2016 on Rick Barnes' staff at Texas. Stayed on under Shaka Smart.
And you get the feeling that he knows exactly what he's trying to build and how he wants to build it.
We didn't have to look too far to see what it looked like growing up.
Yep.
Son of John Lucas, one of the most beloved coaches in the country. Renew the spin, missed it. Offensive rebound, open three, got it. Nice looking stroke. Allen from the outside.
And that's that stroke when you get the kick out, nobody's around you, you know you have a second or so to gather yourself, be ready to accept and shoot the basketball.
Allen inserted into the starting lineup by Jay Lucas. Washington went to the bench. Lucas said he needed some scoring punch with his second unit. Allen has been terrific. And what a maneuver that turned out to be. Beautiful lob pass set up by Robinson. And then the finish by Trent Burns underneath.
And initially with Mitchell recognizing the double team.
Here comes Renew. A little bit of a stumble. Officials are going to get Burns. Tough call.
And watch this double team. Well executed. The pass to the middle. And then over the top.
Burns at 7'5".
I was just going to say, Spiro, look.
You got a pretty good margin for error if you're the lobber.
7'5", and then you look over at him and you say, you know what? That could be correct.
They really think he's got a bright future. Obviously, the size that everyone sees that's jaw-dropping, but so much talent. Shows you the soft hands of what he could potentially become as Renew readies himself at the free throw line. Watch whip-around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break, presented by Home Depot in the NCAA March Madness Live app. Malik Renew, we asked Jay Lucas about putting this roster together. He said the first piece, the first target was Renew. Once we got him into the mix, all the other pieces kind of fell in line. Let's check in with John Rothstein.
Well, Spiro, to piggyback off you said right there, the Miami staff told me throughout the season and obviously here in St. Louis that the pitch to Malik Renew was you had to be somebody who was featured and you had to be a four-man. We needed to make you a primary four to showcase your talents. He has definitely done that so far this season, Spiro, and Jim playing his best basketball.
Just a spectacular year. Jay Lucas said, boy, you just need size at that power forward spot. And boy, does Renew check those boxes. Look out. Jaden Stone taking the brunt of that collision from Donaldson. And thankfully looks like he's okay. Young man who has overcome so much from a health standpoint over the last couple of years. Jim sacrificing his body against Donaldson.
Going after that loose one. It's interesting, too, when you look at Renew at Indiana last year, Donaldson at Michigan. Weren't they rivals going after one another and competing?
They were,
yes. And now they're teammates. How the world has changed.
Unbelievable. 4-point lead for the Hurricanes as we come up on the midway point of this first half. Jim, biggest takeaways to this point?
I think they're still trying to find themselves offensively. I think that when you look at Missouri having trouble with this matchup zone, they're not running real good sets. They're just trying to shoot over it, and that's not going to cut it if you just keep backing up and shooting.
Tigers are 2 of 9 from the three-point line.
I think they have to find a way to get the ball into the middle, whether it's driving through that matchup zone or passing it to the middle, looking both ways.
Henderson goes glass through contact and a chance at 3 for Miami.
Spiro, you know where that contact began? That contact began about 8 feet from the basket. Watch when he catches it right now here. That's about 8 feet, and then he keeps powering it through. He got hit twice just then to finish that shot off. Real good activity heading towards the basket. I think both teams have to really think about whether or not they're going to turn this into an inside game or an outside game. You know, they're not bad. They're good three-point shooting team. Missouri at 35, Miami just under 39%. I don't know. I just think in this tournament, you got to make sure you establish the blocks in the middle of the floor.
Largest lead of the night for Miami. Up 6 as we move inside of 10 minutes left. Can the Tigers start to solve this matchup zone defense? Robinson into the corner, gets it to Pierce. Big shot for the Tigers as he stares down that Hurricanes bench.
Just by putting Barrett in the middle of the floor just then, you have to recognize that, and it changes the dynamics of that matchup defense.
Allen trying to fend off Barrett. 15 to shoot. Allen lines it up. And Phillips sends him into the front row of seats.
He's only 7 feet tall, but he's still effective blocking the shot. You better get this off in a hurry, and that's way too late if you bring it right to the grill.
Sean Phillips Jr., the senior, in his NCAA tournament debut. A couple of years at Arizona State, freshman year at LSU. I don't think he's intimidated by the bright lights.
Averaging 1.5 blocks per game. I'm going to look at him again and kick it away from him.
Donaldson 3 short, offensive rebound. They get it to Allen, and he connects. 6.
The confident Allen just that he saw the same exact look a couple of minutes ago where they got an offensive rebound, then he splashed it out to him, and he came right back and splashed it through.
Allen, a hometown kid, a freshman from Miami. Started Montverde Academy in Florida, was a top 10 rated high school player in the state.
Whoa.
High pass for Cruz, and an unforced turnover by the Tigers, their 4th. Zendaya, Jacob Elordi, and Sydney Sweeney are back for season 3 of HBO's Euphoria. The Emmy award-winning series returns on April the 12th with all new episodes Sundays at 9 p.m. on HBO Max. Well, here's Sydney Sweeney is a big Jim Spanarkel fan.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I'm lying to you, but
don't let that out of the bag.
6-point game. Allen in the corner. They're going to get him reset. Henderson, the emerging first-year player, tough shot over Phillips.
Good help by the guards there. Barrett in particular getting back.
Phillips, little dream shake, and he goes glass.
Pretty effective move there. He was very close to dragging that pivot foot into a walking violation.
Little shimmy step maneuver. Malik Renew short arms the 3, fight for it. Henderson weak side, boy, had a chance underneath.
Watch out,
trying
where's
to
he
save
going?
his bad boy. Look out, he leaps over the table. And thankfully looks like he's okay.
Yeah, that was some effort right there. 2 guys had to save this, and watch this attempt. He steps on the line, but watch out. Fortunately, no injury here.
That didn't break any equipment, thankfully. Wow. Little peek at our game summary. 7:35 left before halftime. Look at the offensive rebounds and the second chance points. And all things considered, Dennis Gates has to be pleased. They're only down 4 points. John, a couple of seconds ago with the Missouri head coach.
All right, Dennis, how do you keep getting easy baskets?
Well, we got to keep defending, first of all, and be able to get it in transition. They're hurting us on second chance points, so we're taking the ball out too much. We got to be able to get clean rebounds and be able to run and get spacing.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's absolutely right there, John, because Allen has 2 3-point shots. He's 2 for 2 from the 3-point line, and they were a byproduct of offensive rebounds, kickouts, and just an easy step-in stroke for the long-range shot.
What a job by Dennis Gates and this staff. With that fantastic first year in 2022, 25 wins, got into the dance, got to the round of 32, then that tough year 2. Look at Renew, the fake, unable to convert. Officials say jump possession arrow favors the Hurricanes. But Dennis Gates in this program had that great first year. Everyone thought that their arrow was pointing up, and then the second year, Jim, they were just ravaged by injuries. The key players took them really a year to recover. But he's got them back into the tournament, back-to-back appearances. First time that's happened for the program in more than a decade.
And Dennis's answer to that point was, you know, injuries have cost them. And it cost them a lot in terms of getting together, in terms of bringing that chemistry to the floor constantly. It's a work in progress for him, but a confident guy.
Officials have gone to the table here. Courtney Green and Kip Kissinger. Looks like they may adjust the clock here. They're going to put 7 seconds on the shot clock and 7:21 now on the game clock. Renew's going to reset, but they got to work quickly here. Allen finally recognizes short, and the offensive rebound. It was Uday who snuck in. Now Donaldson, traveling violation. And Donaldson looks mystified.
Yeah, I can sense why he was walking a little bit extra on that one, because Phillips was just waiting to swat that if he put that up underneath the basket. So that caused that violation.
10 offensive rebounds for Miami and still none for the Tigers. As we hit the 7-minute mark before halftime. Stone. Can Missouri get Mitchell going? Misses there. Phillips, first offensive rebound, powers up, no. And Donaldson corrals the loose change.
Yeah, the hesitation cost him just then. There's a little grab.
Henderson on a stumble. So Mark Mitchell is now 0 of 2. He has yet to score in this game. Incredible. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament at NCAA.com. Then when you consider that, you look up, they're only down 4 points. That's a bit of a surprise for the Tigers.
Yeah, a guy who averages 18 points. Oh, nice catch.
Miami, another turnover. Pierce forces, pretty spin, and then he missed the layup. Boy, just got too cute with it. Henderson, easy lay-in from Miami, and that's a 4-point swing.
It sure was. An easy one down the end there for Pierce, and he just lost it. It looked like he just bobbled it, but he made a really good play at half court to catch that ball and stop it.
Dennis Gates looking for offense, going to insert Jacob Cruz, who's at the table to check in. Pierce trying to atone, misses. Offensive rebound, weak side Robinson.
Yeah, that's because Phillips got his hand on that one.
Mitchell on the box. And the officials are going to get a reach-in foul here on Donaldson, with Mitchell making that move on the box. Second on Donaldson.
That's the pass. As Donaldson goes back, he caught the ball in the front court, so he knew that that would be trouble and a violation going back. This ball just got lost there coming at the basket, and they go down the other end, as you touched on. No two from Missouri down one end, and you come back and get two for Miami.
Inbound to Mitchell. Outside Cruz. Offensive rebound Phillips. And a reach-in foul here on Miami. Sean Phillips putting his imprint on this game. His defense and some of his work on the interior as we check in with John.
Well, Spiro, this is a huge development for Missouri with Sean Phillips. He's a foul-prone player. He's had 4 or more fouls in 6 of the last 8 games. So the fact that the Tigers have kept him on the floor and are getting this type of mileage, a major bonus for Missouri, Jim.
Absolutely, John. Anytime you can get a guy who's foul-prone to put up results, and then they'll probably massage that as the half wears down to keep him away from foul trouble.
Shooting struggles for both of these two teams. Phillips, Renew on his back.
I think you have to put the ball up there. You can't bring it down. You got to shoot it.
Elevates, trying to go glass. Tough shot.
Yeah, it was, because he's waiting for that double team to come to him. And then when you bring that ball down, you neutralize the size advantage and the height advantage. It's got to go the other way.
Henderson trying to set the table. This is Renew. Only 5 points is Renew in his first half, 2 of 9. Here's True Washington. Good movement. Henderson. Soft touch. Uday the rebound.
A double click on the rim up there threw the defensive rebounders off a bit.
Again, the extra possessions. Look at the offensive rebound discrepancy. One of the reasons Miami has a 6-point lead. Washington shot clock down to 2. Has to hurry. Washington, and he's going to shoot free throws.
Spiro, when you have the size down here, you look down here and he's holding on to it. Now you see the double coming. You can't bring that ball down. As you see the defender coming down at you, Washington, to try to make a play, you have to be quicker than that. Either you're going to go with it initially, make a quick, strong move, or kick it away from the double team.
Jim, we thought that this would be an evenly matched game. Hasn't been pretty, but high intensity defense from both teams. Just consider what's at stake for these two programs. A trip to the round of 32. And right now the Hurricanes holding a 7-point lead as we are inside of 5 minutes left in the half. And consequently, Miami's largest lead of the night. A lot of people talked about maybe the geographical disadvantage. Miami, higher seed, having to play what basically is a quasi-home game for Missouri. And so far they have not been affected on the floor.
To John's point, they got Phillips off the floor right now. So you don't want to see him pick up a couple of quick ones.
Mitchell still looking for a bucket. And last touch by Miami. So the Tigers have missed 7 straight shots, and their shooting percentage is now down to 30% for the half.
With that offensive rebounding on Miami's part, they are lucky it's only 7.
Well, it's just crazy. Mitchell is still scoreless, the number 6 scorer in the SEC this season at better than 18 points per game. Looks like we're going to get a challenge here from Jay Lucas. Call on the floor is Missouri basketball. The officials will take a closer look at the replay monitor. Late stages first half in St. Louis. Hurricanes holding a 7-point lead. All right, so a successful challenge for Jay Lucas, so he will hold on to the timeout. He will also hold on to a challenge. Easy one here for the officials as they reverse the call.
Yeah, very much so. Clearly off Barrett.
Jim, what are these two coaches thinking about here? Final 4:32 and a half. Hurricanes will bring it the length of the floor, holding a 7-point lead.
I think when you look at it, Missouri right now, you're trying to get a good stop or two and find a way at the offensive end to hit 1 or 2 3-pointers. They are 3 for 13 from the floor on their 3-point shots.
Henderson unleashed.
Be careful you don't bring that basket down with you the next time.
Emerging player in the ACC this season. Robinson short arms the 3.
We got numbers 2-on-1.
Henderson off the outlet, missed it, and we're going to get a loose ball foul. Mitchell with the shove of Washington underneath. Tigers still had a foul to give, so it'll be possession Miami when we come back, but the Hurricanes starting to flex. Up 9, late first half here in St. Louis. It's been a day of records being broken, miracle threes, and that's just here in St. Louis. Our tournament summary as we watch here late stages first half as Purdue moving on to take on the winner of this game. There is Marcus Allen, the young man in his sophomore season for Miami, began the year as a reserve for Jay Lucas, and then in December he received the life-changing news that he'd been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, obviously ending his season, but he has stayed with the program, stayed with his team every step of the way since. And we are really happy to report that he is healthy, feels strong. He's got 1 more session of chemotherapy. It's such a great visit with him yesterday as we get a loose ball foul here underneath with Kip Kissinger making the call, but his spirits are high.
Just a remarkable young man.
And incredibly, last year, Jim, he was a freshman for Dennis Gates and Missouri, so just to add to the emotions of the moment for that young man, he said that one of the first men to visit him in the hospital was Dennis Gates.
Right, exactly. Terrific story that he's making strides with his health.
And boy, we wish him all the best. Him and his family that has been right around him since the news broke in December. Nice rip on the offensive rebound by Barrett. Underneath. Burns, little flick at the rim. Fight for it. And the Tigers again come up empty.
Yeah, I think the bigs are hesitating too much.
Allen, a blocking foul. They're going to put Allen at the free throw line. And boy, if I'm Dennis Gates, I'm telling Mitchell, you're in that tight. You got to take that shot.
I agree 1,000% with you on that. And then you're coming back down the other end. You just can't recover from that quickly. And Allen just continues to bully his way through the middle of the lane here and getting hit. Good call from the officials.
Mark Mitchell, who is so good this year, more than 18 points per game, all SEC second team. His lowest point total of the year was 5, and ironically it came in this building against Illinois. But if they're going to have any chance, got to get your best player playing at a high level. And of course, all that said, it's only a 9-point game.
Yeah, the shooting is just, for Missouri, is just really, it was at 27% right now. Spiro, and like you said a second ago, and I agree with you. You get the ball down low, maybe go one dribble and then power through to hit some bodies or make something happen. Here they go back into this matchup zone. Like right now, go at it. There you go.
Mitchell trying to force the issue. Strong move. He's going to get himself to the free throw line.
And to use your word, if you're going to force your way in there, something good is going to happen eventually. But I think there's just been a touch too much of hesitation on the part of the Missouri front line. Trying to be too unselfish and make extra passes when, you know what, play a little selfish basketball. I think you'll have better results when you're 7 feet in.
Reminder coming up, AT&T at the half. All the scores and highlights, plus the latest NCAA tournament news. It's all to come on AT&T at the half. Mark Mitchell on pace to become only the second player in school history to lead the team in points, rebounds, and assists in a single season. Big free throws, and what basically is a quasi-home crowd here for the Tigers getting up out of their seats.
And we'll see if the crowd helps them at this end of the floor defensively, recognizing they need them to get some stops here.
Henderson trying to force the issue underneath, traveling violation.
Well, that's a terrific set just then defensively to help out. Knowing that Henderson has the power move going to the basket with that spin, it gives everybody a second here with this spin to close in, and he spins right to the secondary defender. Now the key becomes whether you can capitalize on it.
Jim, again, how do these teams close the half? So critical. 8-point deficit for Missouri. Hurricanes still in their matchup zone defense.
Right. I think you got to funnel somebody into the middle. There you go, but it just bounces it. Tough pass to catch.
Tight quarters pass. Phillips trying to get it to Mitchell in the 5th Tigers turnover.
Yeah, not a bad idea, that trip.
Here comes Renew, misses in tight again. Phillips bothering the shot. Possession arrow gives it to the Tigers. It has been a grinding defensive grudge match at times. Two physical power conference teams mixing it up here in St. Louis.
Well, when you think about the fact that they're both around 80 points per game, watch out.
Robinson gliding to the cup. Trying to get the Tigers jump started. 6-point game.
Yeah, one of their easiest buckets of the night also. I think it's going to give the fans a lift.
Missouri Tigers showing a heartbeat now with their offense that has been dormant for most of the night. They have cut it to 6, Jim, with 1:42 left in the half.
Shooting it right at 30%. You would think that Miami could be up double digits or more with the way they've defended. But here's a big time for Missouri to get a stop and close this gap a little bit. Under 2 minutes in the half. You want to make good decisions here and don't turn it over and give up 3 points on either side.
Both teams are out of fouls.
Here he comes to his left. Power move.
Renew. Aaron pass. Turnover.
That just plays into the crowd again also, Spiro. An offensive set where they score quickly down the other end, and now all of a sudden the fans are getting involved with this. That little cross pass didn't work as it goes across. Miscommunication. One guy goes to the left. The ball goes to the right.
Anthony Robinson, the elite defender, the linchpin for him at that end of the floor. And those turnover numbers as we play late stages in the half. Here comes Mitchell, and he's going to shoot.
Did you notice though, Spiro, just then, even though he wasn't in a great position, he's trying to get a shot off or do something with the basketball. Once he gets it in there, watch, his back is almost turned to the basket, but he's thinking about, he's trying to get the continuation play, which I think was a little bit of a stretch just then. But at least he's thinking that way when he gets into the middle of the floor. Better adjustment than about 5 minutes ago when they were just trying to pass it around underneath.
1-and-1 from Mitchell. Foul coming before the gather. Hits the front end as Mitchell desperately tries to get his offensive game off the ground here in St. Louis. Former high school McDonald's All-American at Sunrise Christian Academy in Kansas. What a player he's become. First 2 years at Duke, and now second year in this Missouri program.
That's about as good a free throw motion for a 66% free throw shooter that I've seen in a long time. Hello, everybody's awake now in this building.
Tigers at 1 point down 10 have scored 6 straight. Donaldson. But the officials are going to get Phillips on a reach-in foul past the 3-point line.
Yeah, the
Tigers are out of fouls and a 1-and-1 for Donaldson.
Yeah, but the fans are booing that call, but it was the correct call. The problem was that you have your 7-footer going out to guard a little guard like that who's lightning fast with the basketball. That's just not a good matchup for Missouri.
So second personal on Phillips. And Trey Donaldson, the senior. Double transfer, Auburn, Michigan. Playing in his 4th NCAA tournament.
Might be tempted to take Phillips out of this game with a minute left in it in the first half.
The Hurricanes only 3 of 7 at the stripe, make it 3 of 8.
77% free throw shooter, barely got it there.
And we are inside of a minute now left and a half. Robinson sizes him up, fires, and buries it. We got a brand new basketball game here in St. Louis. These two evenly matched teams. 9 straight for the Tigers.
And Robinson going long range right there. Gets a little bump screen, step back, and drills it, as you touched on, closes this gap down to 1. The real thing, too, Spiro, is the fact that it's getting the fans riled up, supportive. Even the band is involved.
So during this run, the Hurricanes have been kept without a field goal for 3.5 minutes.
Spiro, at about the 2.5-minute mark of this first half, I thought there was a chance that this thing might get to 12 or 14 points from Miami. Now they're facing a zone here as we come down the stretch in the half. But Missouri really responded effectively at the defensive end and hit a couple of shots.
Remember, both teams are in the bonus. Donaldson against Robinson. Washington 2 to shoot. Elevates, contested. Masterful defense.
And then they're going to sit on it also. Get the last shot. The worst thing you want to do is go in 1 point down if you're Missouri right now.
Robinson sizes up Allen. Underneath, this is Burns. 1 second. Elevates. And that is going to get us to halftime here in St. Louis. But the Tigers come alive late and erase nearly all of that 10-point deficit.
I wouldn't say it's the best half offensively for either of these two teams, but it sure is close.
John Rothstein standing by with Trey Donaldson.
All right, Spiro, Trey, does this feel like a road game?
For sure. I mean, for sure. It's loud in here. It's rowdy. They're getting up. They're standing up. They're getting loud.
How do you push the lead in the first couple minutes of the second half?
Just continue to get stops, be on the offensive glass, be on the defensive glass, and limit them to 1 shot.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Spiro.
All right, John, let's all gear up for what promises to be an entertaining second half. We got a 1-point affair in St. Louis. We'll get you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. We got a 1-point game here in St. Louis as everyone settles into their seats for the final 20 minutes. Little peek at our first half stats sponsored by Intuit TurboTax. This was a 10-point Miami lead with a couple of minutes left in the half. before Missouri got themselves back into this game. Spiro Ditas, Jim Spanarkel. We'll hear from John Rothstein in just a second. How did the Tigers turn it, and what are the keys to the second half?
Well, they have to keep them off the offensive glass. Miami did a great job. They're top 30 in offensive rebounding percentage this season. But that graphic, I appreciate that they put that together. It looks really nice, the summary. The only thing that matters in an ugly game is the final score. So forget about all the grabbing the stat sheets. It's just going to be a real fun game to watch, I think, in the second half here.
So much at stake for these two teams. The prize is Purdue. And just a couple of seconds ago, outside the Missouri locker room, John with Anthony Robertson.
All right, and what changed in the last couple of minutes of that first half?
Oh, we was getting stops. They were getting a lot of offensive rebounds. So we were trying to cut out and, just grab the ball with 2 hands.
All right, in the second half, how do you get Mark Mitchell going?
Mark's going to play. We're just going to find a way to get him involved. And, just, of course, the game, he's going to put his mark on the game. So
appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Been a long day getting tongue-tied. Anthony Robinson just big part of that first half push, latter stages. As the Hurricanes with possession to begin the second half. Here comes Allen chiseling his way to the basket.
Well, he had a good first half with some outside shooting. Good start by Miami also to determine that they wanted to try to find some way to get to the glass early. I think this is going to be really hard-fought, fun game to watch from our perspective.
Stone catch and shoot 3, rattles out. And last touch by Malik Renew. And the Tigers now 4 of 16 from deep. Well, good look at where these two teams sit in the baby brackets. Miami, Missouri, Purdue on to the round of 32 as they await the winner of this one. Hurricanes 17-2 this season when leading at halftime.
Little one-on-one action here too. Spiro gives it up.
Mitchell carves him up with a bounce. Whistle blowing underneath. And Jaden Stone's going to shoot free throws.
Mitchell had that opportunity to look. Then all of a sudden he sees a quick double team coming his way. And that's a very strong cut by Stone to fill the middle of the floor, be seen and react and get to the line.
Jaden Stone, what a remarkable story this young man has been. Born in Perth, Australia. He has been the picture of perseverance. First 2 years at Grand Canyon, a program that basically cast him aside. Moved on to Detroit Mercy. Eventually became a 20-point-per-game scorer. That earned him a trip to his first high major program. Signed with West Virginia. But in a preseason practice, October of 24, hard spill led to a spinal injury. He lost temporary movement on the left side of his body. 2 weeks in the hospital. Wondered if he'd ever walk again. And here he is as one of the centerpiece players. Beautifully done meantime by Henderson at the other end. Phillips, the deflection, just nasty.
And you said Mark Mitchell was going to get involved a little bit. That was his pass right to the front of the rim for the dynamic finish.
Henderson takes a little bump on the baseline as things starting to get spicy.
Yeah, they sure are. You get the feeling very quickly. Watch this turnaround pass. And then size does matter in this game. You just throw it up there and let Phillips go after it. Comes down and goes up quickly and strongly to finish it off.
Missouri scored the first points of the night. They were up 2-0. They haven't led since. Inbound to Donaldson, thought about it. Barrett defends, but beautiful pass.
Look at that.
Look who it is. Another block for Phillips. Here comes Barrett weaving underneath. Boy, Phillips just couldn't squeeze it, and he had an open dunk.
Yeah, he may have gotten called for that push just then, too, I think. Yep.
Third personal on Phillips.
Nice challenge defensively just then. Henderson thinking he's got something going. Not quite.
Great look at it by our camera operators who are doing just a phenomenal job. Long day games.
All day long, I was going to say, agree with you.
Tip of the cap to our entire crew here in St. Louis. Just masterfully done. Here comes Henderson. Clever pass as Uday, the cutter, right behind him. And he's going to shoot free throws.
Missouri picking up a couple of 3 fouls here already in just under 2 minutes of action.
Foul charge to Barrett, his second personal. So Ernest Uday, first year in the program, played his freshman year at Kansas, last 2 years at TCU. Was one of the elite rebounders in the ACC, third in the conference in rebounds, 7th in blocks. ACC all-defensive team. One of the centerpiece players for Jay Lucas.
51% free throw shooter, so Missouri has to be ready to block out. There you go, good work. Simple, but it's fundamentally sound to make sure you know the scattering report. If the guy's 50-50, I can do the quick math. If he makes the first one, he's probably not going to make the second.
I think they'll take 1 or 2 at the line any day from Uday.
Go again.
Phillips starting to light him up.
Spirit, a little bit of change here, an adjustment on the fly from the first half. Remember I said they have to get somebody into the middle of the floor? Mitchell is doing that. He's playing playmaker right now.
Donaldson, deep shot, missed it. Offensive rebound, Renew powers up and lays it in.
Boy,
Quick advancement up the floor, off the deflection, it's Barrett. They're now going to get him reset. Look at the offensive rebound numbers. And despite all that, the Tigers are right there, down a deuce.
back to man, he just fumbles the basketball. 3-on-1.
The turnover by Mitchell. And we're going to get a reach-in foul here. Tiger fans arguing that it was a clean strip. It would have been off of Henderson's foot. But instead, he's going to shoot free throws.
But it might be the hand from behind. Let's take a look. You see that left hand and the extension? That's a great call from the trail official, because nobody could see that left hand in this building. Great catch by the crew right there. Terrific shot.
So Henderson to the free throw line. Freshman out of Houston, Texas, but they have not been good at the stripe tonight.
People like to pick on officials, you know, but they get about 90–92% of their calls correct in this live type of play. And that was a very good call.
Dennis Gates has this Missouri program in the dance consecutive seasons, first time in 13 years for the Tigers. And Henderson missed them both. The Hurricanes leaving a ton of points at the charity strike. They're 4 of 12 tonight.
Here's that point forward action.
Robinson puts it on the deck, working against Allen. Mitchell.
Like that he's turned down that 3 and he throws it.
Errant pass. Boy, it has been a nightmare offensive game for one of the top scorers in the SEC. Mark Mitchell, 18 per game. He still is looking for his first bucket.
Might make an adjustment to try to get him catching the ball 15 feet away rather than by the 3-point stripe. He shoots the ball at 36% from long range, but I think, to your point, to get a bucket, to get to the free throw line, more important that you condense the floor and move him inside a little bit more.
He also has the 4 turnovers. He has gotten to the free throw line, 4 of 4 in the game, trying to impact the game in other areas until he can get his offense going.
And the zone look right now from Missouri. Got the big guys behind, lurking around.
Donaldson catch and shoot, deep shot in the corner. Big shot for the Hurricanes, young man who's got all kinds of experience on the big stage. 5-point game. Hard screen by Mitchell, freeing up Robinson. A 7-foot 5-inch Burns back in for Dennis Gates. Mitchell.
Little closer catch right now. Well defended.
Still 7 on the timer. Stone doing his dance against Allen. Drives underneath and a foul.
So you're getting some action, and Donaldson just flares to the left side and drills it. Big bucket for Miami.
Offensive rebounding, second chance points for Miami, a big part of the story so far tonight.
And we saw Allen take advantage of that in the first half, and a couple of guys with the kick-out passes for threes. Relentless on the offensive glass. That's a separator for tonight so far.
Hurricanes do not have a single player in double-digit points so far. Right now led by Dante Allen, 9, 8 for Henderson, 7 for Malik Renew. As Jaden Stone readies himself at the free throw line. 15:50 left. With the Tigers playing in a 5-point hole. Mentioned this free throw struggles for the Hurricanes. Missouri, meantime, Jim, 7 for 7. Opportunistic.
Keep in mind a 67% free throw shooting team on the season too. And Missouri not a whole lot better at 68 change.
One possession game. Donaldson probing, finds his spot and hits. High degree of difficulty.
But understanding how he can get that plant foot down so that he can comfortably get off the floor. I love when these guards make decisions on where they want to get their own shot off.
That's a deep three.
Quick hitter.
And Stone with a chance at 4.
Great answer by Stone just then. A quick catch and go. Watch him come around the corner, regroups. And yep, he gets hit on the way down. You have to let him land. Washington doesn't like the call, but it's a good call.
Now, we mentioned that scary fall that he had in West Virginia a couple of years ago. He had an immediate impact this year. First year in the program. Remember, then he had that hand injury in the latter part of November, so he missed 8 games after he jumped out to a terrific start for Dennis Gates this season. Again, the perseverance of that young man. Just a gigantic 4-point play for the Tigers.
And it's being appreciated by their fans right now, too, who are involved.
Tigers playing a couple hours drive from their campus in Columbia. Here comes Donaldson, another tough shot. Offensive rebound, Uday. Allen rattles out.
Great work there. Who was that in there? Couldn't even see. It was Robinson.
Stone thought about it. Couple of hard fakes. Cruz just short with the floater.
A pretty cut just then, too, to get to the middle of the paint by Cruz.
1-point game. The Hurricanes just can't seem to shake the Tigers. Henderson underneath, missed it. Little bit of contact. Tigers have it.
Yeah, get rid of it. You got numbers up the floor. Has to be somebody open.
Cruz with a launch. Misses badly.
Well, like a power play in hockey just then coming down the floor.
Jacob Cruz desperately trying to give Dennis Gates something off the bench. He's missed all 3 of his threes so far. As we cross the 14-minute mark.
See if he comes back to his strength.
Renew double teamed, and he's bumped. It's on Robinson. Clear contact from the back with Robinson collapsing on the help defense.
I know the instincts there by Robinson is to help out, but you have a big guy straight up flush with the shooter.
Top 16 teams in the NHL will compete for the oldest trophy in North American sports. The Stanley Cup playoffs begin April the 19th. TNT, TBS, True TV, and HBO Max.
Is that done because I just referenced the power play in hockey?
How about, that's unbelievable. Malik Renew, what a center and what a piece he's been this year for Jay Lucas. All ACC first team. 4th in the ACC in double-doubles this season. 6th in field goal percentage. 4th in free throw percentage at nearly 80%.
And coming off that nice run at Indiana. Good stroke at that free throw line for him.
As much as anyone else, the key to this Miami men's program's resurrection this season. So we move inside of 14 minutes left. Mitchell, everyone waiting for him to get his offensive game going. Barrett from the corner, not even close.
He hesitated there. Did you notice the little hitch before he got into his shooting motion?
Jim, speaking of hesitation, do you see something from Mitchell? Is there any kind of hesitation for him? Meantime, Henderson gets his way to the basket.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Spiro, because he had that ball just in that last possession, and it was kind of like, I'm not going to do anything but give the ball up. He's got to do something with the ball when he catches it 15. Right now, make something happen. All right, there's a pass that gets an action, and you get at least a good shot, some results.
Jaden Stone starting to cook for the Tigers. He's got 18.
But to your point, Mitchell was a factor there because he did something with the basketball. Get energetic. Make it happen.
Someone had to pick up the slack from Mitchell, and so far it's been Stone.
It's not that late at night, is it?
This is Renew.
Nice double team here to get it out of his hands.
Shot clock at 5. Henderson wide open.
Oh, missed jump.
Cruz mistimed
He
it.
sure did.
Renew's gonna launch and buries it.
We're going to start talking about offensive rebounding and the difference in this game if Miami wins it.
First 3 of the night for Renew, who shot 35% from deep on the season.
There you
Mitchell
go.
finally gets his first basket.
Henderson took the brunt of that too when he fell down. 14 offensive rebounds so far from Miami right now.
Back to a one-score game. Allen, beautiful dive. A little bit too much. Loose ball foul Miami.
Well, we've got one here in St. Louis. Renew just facing it up. Some more second chance points for Miami. And Mitchell gets some action in the lane.
Packed house here in St. Louis, and among the fans here, there is the great John Lucas, one of the most beloved, respected coaches in the country, all those years at the NBA level. But Jim, I would imagine nothing quite like watching your son coach on this kind of a stage here in St. Louis.
Coach and a terrific player in his own right, for sure. And one other thing about him, Spiro, I had the chance when I was in college. Maryland's tennis team came to Duke to play tennis. He was the #1 seed on the Maryland tennis team.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
Oh, my goodness.
I watched that match. He could really play tennis.
What a sports life for John Lucas, and how proud he must be of his son. 37-year-old Jay Lucas, rookie, first-year head coach. Broke into the coaching business at the age of 24 on that Rick Barnes staff at Texas. And the nervousness of a father, hoping that his son's team can somehow will themselves to the round of 32. Reset to Stone. He's had the hot hand for the Tigers.
The high screen, he goes away from it.
Working against Allen. But terrific footwork defensively by Allen.
Pretty pass right here.
Boy, Barrett somehow couldn't finish. Miami's interior defense doing just enough.
Excellent job by Cruz off the offensive glass, and a better pass to keep that play alive.
We come up on the midway point of the second half. Dove right from deep, missed it.
That's his game, though. He can shoot that, and he can make that.
Well, we mentioned Missouri's three-point struggles. Hurricanes not much better from deep, just 6 of 17 tonight. Make it 6 of 18. Here comes Pierce. Underneath, poked away, turnover. And another empty trip for the Tigers. Dovrat going to try again. Bullseye.
He doesn't shoot many of them, but when he shoots them, he's just under 50%. Nice spacing there and getting down the floor in transition.
First year of collegiate basketball for the Israeli national. Previous 6 years as a pro in Israel. And boy, his first 3 of the night could not have come at a better time for Miami. A 6-point game
Johnny.
from St. Louis. Little peek at our game summary. 10-13 left in regulation. Miami had a 1-point lead at halftime, up 6 as we welcome you back courtside. Spiro Adidas, Jim Spanarkel, John Rothstein working the sidelines. What are you thinking about here as we come towards down the stretch of the half?
What I'm thinking is that the offensive rebounds has really helped Miami. 17-2 advantage on second chance points, and I really believe that Missouri has to start funneling this ball. I keep saying it, funnel it towards the middle of the floor, because they're three-point shooting 6 for 21. Now, if they get them kicked out after looking down deep, that's fine. But get it going towards the basket. There you go with a little kick out.
Robinson, big shot for the Tigers. That'll cut it to 3. Robinson with 11.
So you must get that ball, Spiro, going towards the paint area to get defenders off the shooters. And if they don't, then you make something happen one-on-one.
Robinson only a 30% three-point shooter this season. His third triple, and here he is with a steal. Stone underneath, and he's headed to the free throw line. Missouri can tie it.
Well, that did not take much time, did it? One possession at the offensive end. And then all of a sudden, a nice little release, and he waits, and he's patiently reading the defense and makes a nice cross cut here. Watch this, and extends himself. Well done. Little reach in at the end there by Donaldson.
The Missouri Tigers have not won an NCAA tournament game since 2009. A team that won 31 games eventually reached the Elite Eight. Fastest 40 minutes in basketball. What a team that was. Jaden Stone, boy, what kind of a night he is putting together on the biggest stage there is. John Rothstein.
It's felt that getting Jaden Stone healthy after Christmas was a huge key for Missouri, and he hasn't been shooting the ball that well. Just 4 of 21 from 3 in his last 5 games, but 21 points already tonight, Spiro. 3 of 7 from deep.
I beg your pardon, their last tournament win was 2020.
Watch out. Oh, brother.
As Pierce rumbling his way to the basket, and he's going to get himself to the free throw line.
I think he was getting ready to crank one right here. Yep. They're going to look at that, but I'm not so sure anything there is other than a common foul. I don't know. Second look, maybe across the arm.
Hard collision.
Yep.
Everyone looks like they're okay. And now this terrific veteran crew is going to go to the table. Kip Kissinger, Courtney Green, and Sean Hall. There was that 23 team. It's a fantastic debut season from Dennis Gates. Got that tournament win after their 25-win season. Another look at that hard collision.
Yep, he gets the ball initially. And the question I have, can he control where the shooter's hand goes from that point? So he gets it there.
For Missouri.
Officials have seen enough. Gene Steratore telling us that he does indeed agree. And it will be Trent Pierce to the free throw line. Young man who missed the first 2 months of the season with lower body injury, 13 games. And eventually becoming the 3rd leading scorer for Dennis Gates' team this season. First lead for Missouri since they took the early 2-0 lead. They've erased a 10-point deficit, and they have been workmanlike in their comeback. Two-point lead.
Time for an answer right here for Miami. Playing on the road. They get Renew involved with this set.
Donaldson's going to fire and hits. it. Or just a massive shot for the Hurricanes. Feeling the building, the momentum, leaning towards the Tigers.
Telling everybody just to sit down and be quiet.
Here comes Mitchell, trying to get his offensive game going. Reset Robinson. Crosses over, showing the handle. Tough catch. Mitchell in a crowd. Misses. Fight for it. Uday clears.
That was a prayer pass right there. 5 feet away. Too many Miami players ready to defend.
Every dribble, every pass, every shot contested in what has been high intensity. Renew.
They got him a touch where he's usually pretty effective.
Here comes Robinson streaking up the floor. Into the corner, Pierce. Reset. Mitchell from deep.
Finally, he's saying to himself,
Yeah, Jamie, that game a lot closer than a lot of people would have predicted, but boy, the madness of the tournament on full display already, with the winner there advancing to take on Mick Cronin's UCLA Bruins. Meantime, here in St. Louis, Missouri retaking the lead for the first time since the early moments, up to 7:39 left. One thing to keep in mind, all those missed free throws, Jim, by the Hurricanes tonight. 6 of 14 at the line is Miami.
Do they get Renew any involvement? A little isolation right there.
Outside Washington into the paint. Twisting shot. And he's going to shoot free throws.
You know, it was interesting right there, Spiro. I think the defender thought he was a right-handed shooter, and he shot that ball with his left hand, enough to create the contact to get to the line.
Third personal charge to Stone. House of the Dragon is back. Prepare for the new season of the most epic show on television. The battle begins this June, only on HBO Max. True Washington out of Phoenix, Arizona. Mentioned earlier, third in the ACC Sixth Man of the Year vote. Duke's Malik Brown winning it. First year in the program, 2 years under Richard Pitino at New Mexico. 2 trips to the dance with the Lobos. And finally getting the Hurricanes some points at the free throw line. And we are all tied here in St. Louis. Which of these two teams going to be advancing to take on Purdue? Here comes Mitchell, the spin, the gather, Phillips. Point blank, could not hit.
Somebody got a hand on it. Might have been Renew getting a hand on that on the way up just to throw it off and the timing off a bit. Here's Renew against a little guy. You got to go fast and go to the hoop.
Renew glass got it.
Good recognition just then.
Or just a monster play by Renew, the Indiana transfer, and he's got 14.
Using all of that 6'9" strength and height to go after the box.
But after that last Phillips miss inside, Missouri now, Jim, is 3 of 11 on layups in this game. And Mitchell, a lot of contact, pleading for a foul.
Coach better get off the floor over there, Dennis Gates.
Dennis Gates barking.
But you know,
in the direction of Sean Hall.
He keeps spinning into traffic, Mitchell, though. If they see that spin coming, it gives you an extra second to close him down.
Boy, big possession right here. Renew's going to hoist and connects. Just a massive sequence for the Hurricanes. 5 straight by Renew. Miami back in front with 6 and change left in regulation.
I get that you want to get to the middle of the floor, but guess what's here? There's a wall, and it maybe was a grab on the arm just then as he made that turn. Mitchell's reaction says it all. But then they come right back, and Renew just tees one up from long range.
Again, Renew, 35% three-point shooter on the season. So since Missouri took the lead, 54-52, 7 unanswered points by Miami. One thing to keep in mind, Dennis Gates now, Jim, is down to his final timeout. Just one left with 6:04 left. Look at how the Hurricanes have put together this little 7-0 spurt.
And sometimes that can work against you, Spear, but it can also, you know, with Miami having a pair left, he'll probably get a couple of timeouts because Miami will call at least one of them.
Big possession here for the Tigers. Where do they turn to? Stone has been their leader tonight, 21 points. Now Robinson, 7 to shoot. Trying to fend off Washington, steps back deep, 2, missed it.
Yeah, it might have been too far of a step back just then. They're going to the races right here.
Henderson taking flight. And you can make it 9 straight for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it can make it too, that the fact that you pulled back like that to take a 3. I think he just made too far of a stride last trip down the floor. They need something down in the blocks right now. See if they can get Mitchell going to the hoop.
Boy, what a response by Jay Lucas in Miami.
Now you spin. There you go.
Mitchell, contact, and he's going to shoot free throws.
Watch how far back he steps out. May have traveled actually just then too. A forced shot, and then they push it. Let the picture say the words here. Woo. Oh, man. That was in a hurry, wasn't it?
In a blink of an eye, Mark Mitchell, over 8 free throw attempts per game, 11th most in the country, as he takes his 5th and 6th attempts tonight. And that right there, the first miss by Missouri at the free throw line. Just hasn't been his night.
Wow.
But it won't matter if Missouri can somehow win this game. Danger zone here as Dennis Gates comes onto the floor. It looks like Anthony Robinson is shaken up. So Gates trying to get the attention of the officials.
I think he took an inadvertent shot to the head during that free throw miss.
Dennis Gates seems frustrated that the officials didn't catch that on their own. Now it looks like they're going to go to the replay monitor to Jimmy, I think, see if there was anything.
Previous play is under review.
All right, so the officials are going to the replay monitor on their own. No challenge, no appeal here by Dennis Gates.
Let's take a look from this angle.
You see Uday kind of a flail of the left arm, maybe catching Robinson down low. Great veteran crew here. Kip Kissinger, Courtney Green, Sean Hall. Kissinger, 3 Final Fours, 1 for
After
Courtney
review,
Green.
there is no upgrade. There was incidental contact.
All right, so
Ball
nothing extra.
in the backcourt,
okay.
Miami basketball.
As determined by the officials. And so Dennis Gates right now looking for some answers. Jim, they're down 7 with 5:04 now left in regulation. And the only silver lining here, Dennis Gates, who has only 1 timeout left, gets a little bit of a chance here with his team to try to get them some instruction.
Yeah, that's why I think, you know, using your timeouts makes sense. You want to maybe hang on to one of them, but, you know, at the end of the day, there's going to be some pauses in the action, generally speaking, at the end of basketball games now.
We cross the 5-minute mark. The drama of March Madness once again on full display here in St. Louis.
Good luck.
Renew. Henderson's going to reset. Donaldson with 7 to shoot. This is Washington up over the top. Well played by Stone. Washington sneaks in for the rebound.
And smart to get that out of there and take some time off the clock, but he might have gotten a block shot on that if he attempted it.
Henderson wide open, and he buries it.
Oh, those second chance points are really, really mounted.
It's a long 2 for Henderson. Was not quite able to clear the 3-point straight. 9-point game. Well, what a big sequence right here for the Tigers. Mitchell steps into a three, and he connects.
Nice delivery by Robinson, wasn't it? Coming across the floor just then, recognizing as a guard, we need something to happen here, but we need a good look.
That ends an 11-0 Miami run. First points for Missouri in almost 4 minutes.
They come back to a matchup zone, it looks like right now. Nice spot for Renew right in the middle of the floor.
Renew the spin.
Oh!
And the officials say foul on Phillips, and he can't believe it.
He's just got to be careful with his reaction.
Fourth personal on Phillips, and everyone's going to catch their breath. Appeared to be contact.
Sure did.
Tough call for the Tigers. We got a 6-point game in St. Louis. As we take a look at our game reset, just one timeout left for Missouri. John, you were eavesdropping on Dennis Gates' huddle. What'd you hear?
Yes, Spiro. Dennis Gates just told his team that they have to stay poised. The Missouri staff was also highlighting both teams are in the bonus. Do not commit silly fouls and give away points while we're trying to make this comeback. But the biggest thing, stay poised. A lot of game left, Spiro.
Well, easier said than done on this kind of a stage. We mentioned Missouri's last NCAA tournament win, 2023. Dennis Gates' first year at the controls of the program. But aside from that, they haven't had a ton of success in the dance. They've lost 8 of their last 9 tournament games. How does this one end tonight in St. Louis, just about 125 miles from their campus?
To John's point, there is plenty of time, but you have to make good decisions if you're Missouri coming down the stretch here.
Robinson, who was shaken up just a couple of moments ago, looks like he's okay now, running the point for the Tigers.
Donaldson on Stone right there, delivered well, backdoor cut.
Stone outside, Mitchell. Titanic shot for the Tigers.
Beautifully designed play, too, with Stone going along that baseline. You have to look, if you're coming from the right side, to the deep left corner. And Mitchell was just ready to crank.
Mitchell starting to come alive. 11 since halftime. Donaldson's going to fire and connects. Big time shot from a young man who's got all kinds of NCAA tournament experience. Mitchell body bumping underneath to the basket with Uday, and he will shoot free throws.
So Mitchell parks himself in the left corner over here and watch the drive along the baseline. That's exactly where you're supposed to look. First to the corner and then to the middle of the court. And here's the answer. Step away and don't even move. The experience of Donaldson to take over right there.
Where those vet players love to silence those loud boisterous hometown crowds, as is the case tonight with this Missouri contingent. Mitchell first free throw good. Trent Pierce in, Phillips to the bench with 2:43 remaining.
Almost anticipate a little junk here on the defensive side of things. Maybe extend a little bit. But the guard play, you have Donaldson, you have Washington on the floor.
Jim, always fascinating to see who the coaches trust in this kind of a spot. Money on the table in the biggest moment of the season for these two programs.
Big veteran, guys who've been around with experience. He's very close to that half-court line, isn't he?
Both teams, by the way, in the bonus. Donaldson against Robinson, one of the elite defenders in the SEC. Washington.
Mismatch down low, gotta go quick.
Renew, double team, coming Renew, and contact.
Great recognition, too, to get it to Renew. Because they got it to him on the right side, and he could just stride. Watch him take it, and he could stride to his power. That's exactly where he wants to get it. They're swinging at him. Nice recognition from Miami for a big-time answer in the lane.
And that's the fourth personal on Anthony Robinson. So Robinson and Phillips with 4 personals each. And the Hurricanes riding their 2 vets, Donaldson and Renew. And from Malik Renew, his 18th 20-point game of the season. So the Hurricanes, after their free throw struggles, have hit 7 straight at the free throw line. Big turning point of this game for them. Mitchell, big moment, short, flailed around, and Donaldson clears.
I like the thought by Mitchell to get it in the lane. I don't think it's a road game right now anymore. Fans are very, very quiet.
Danger zone for the Tigers, where they got to dig deeper. Stop right here. As we are inside of 2 minutes left. Renew.
Plenty of experience with 5 on the shot clock.
Donaldson has to go. 3 to shoot. Elevates and buries it. Trey Donaldson trying to will the Hurricanes to the round of 32. Timeout, Missouri. He has taken the game over for the Hurricanes. There's your game reset. 1:29 remaining. 74-62. Dennis Gates now out of timeouts, and it is full desperation mode now for the Tigers.
Got to hit in a hurry. And one of the things going on the other side when Miami comes back on the floor and they have the offensive possession when they get it, they've only turned the ball over 9 times. So they've got personnel on the floor that knows how to handle it. They're experienced. And I'm sure they're going to get the touches.
Mark Mitchell has been their go-to player all season. Finally starting to put it together offensively, but you just wonder if it was too little too late. 17 points. Jaden Stone has been their high man with 21. Here's Mitchell. Got to work quickly. Cruz turns 3. No. Boy, Missouri arguing that Renew touched the rim, and there should have been basket interference. And we are down to 70 seconds.
Turn this into a fouling game. There you go. Yeah, I mean, you don't have any choice but the foul. Let's see.
Almost a simultaneous tap. Don't think that he touched it before he got on the rim.
Yeah.
So 1-1 here. Bonus situation for Miami. And Malik Renew, what a night he has put together. First 3 years of his career at Indiana. Decided to come home for his final senior season. And what a decision that has turned out to be for this program.
Absolutely fabulous, and just what you want down the stretch. You want who's ever touching the ball and getting fouled to make their free throws.
One of 2 for Renew. Down to 62 seconds. Robinson underneath. Mitchell powers up. Contact. And he's going to get himself to the free throw line. But most of the fans here, Missouri fans, are a big number of them heading for the exits as Uday has fouled out for Miami. Well, this place was high energy. The advantage of playing so close to home as a higher seeded team or lower seeded team, I beg your pardon. But boy, Miami just too strong down the stretch.
Really have to give them credit. You know, with the fans in this building, as you touched on, just a great effort to stick together as a group. Some veterans really stepping up at big times to make the appropriate plays. He's just waiting to get fouled right there.
And that's going to be the 5th on Robinson, so his night is done. Started hot with those multiple threes in the first half from Robinson. And now his season likely over. See the embrace. Every player we've spoken to has talked about their relationship with Dennis Gates. Even Marcus Allen, we touched on his story now with Miami. Young man got his cancer diagnosis. It's just clear how close a relationship Gates has built with his players over the years. And that's what makes a moment like this even harder. Is their season potentially going to come to an end here in St. Louis? Proud basketball coach getting this Missouri program back into the dance. Final 54 seconds. Pierce, long three. Looking to breathe life into the Tigers. Henderson is going to be fouled. And this amazing reclamation project for the Miami Hurricanes almost fully complete. Just 7 wins a year ago, probably the worst season
absolutely
in the history of the program. And Jay Lucas has them a few short seconds away from the second round. Just think of the coaches he's been around. Obviously, his father, side by side with John Shire, who's 2 years with John Calipari, Kentucky, as Cal's lead recruiter. Mentioned Rick Barnes, Shaka Smart. As Pierce lays it up and in with 38 seconds.
He's taken the learning curve and has learned from each and every one of them.
Whistle blown and more free throws here for Miami. As the Hurricanes going to try to put this thing away and potentially, Jim, start thinking about the Purdue Boilermakers and that potential second round matchup. And there's the proud dad, John Lucas, out of his seat and waiting to give his son, I would imagine, a very intense hug.
I would think so. Free throws have kind of disappeared for Miami. Coach is saying this thing is never over. In a pretty good shape right now, but
Mark Mitchell is going to be sat down by Dennis Gates as his sensational season will come to an abrupt end here in St. Louis. 19 from Mitchell. Did not get his first field goal until the second half tonight. Incredibly. The Tigers just could never recover. Barrett underneath, misses. Washington the rebound. And they're going to foul Washington to put him at the free throw line. You know, the landscape of the sport makes it a little easier to bounce back from a down year like we saw from Miami. But, I mean, this has been just remarkable to watch. Biggest one-year turnaround, plus 18 in the wins department last year to this. Biggest turnaround of any Division I program in the country.
And coaches will tell you that what you need to do is really find the right fits for your program, right? Find the guys with the good quality characters that fit the pieces of the puzzle. And Coach Lucas has done a pretty good job of that this year, hasn't he?
We asked him about building his roster. So the one thing I try to think about every day as we put the thing together, always keeping in mind the identity we wanted. Hard-nosed, physical. We wanted fighters, resilient players who love to be in the gym. And boy, did they figure out the right mix. Up 14 as we hit the final 15 seconds. Cruz will fire. Rebound, Henderson. Final seconds will come off the clock as Jay Lucas's reclamation project in Coral Gables will continue. The Hurricanes on to the second round. And with the win tonight, the Hurricanes have tied a Division I record with a plus 19 win total in 1 year. Just remarkable.
Sure, they finished with 3 guys in double figures and 2 with 9, so a balanced attack, and they were gritty for sure.
And now the prize for Jay Lucas and his Hurricanes, the 2 seed in the West, Purdue.
Once again, the final
And
score
what a
for
matchup that will be on Sunday.
With the season's victory, the Hurricanes advance to
What a performance. Malik Renew, 24 points, and he is standing by with John Rothstein.
All right, Spiro, Malik, congratulations. How did you win a road game in the NCAA tournament?
Just sticking to the plan. Coach had a great game plan. Everybody was locked into the game plan, and we executed to the fullest.
24-6 for you. Why has Miami been such a perfect fit?
The way we play, man, we play physical, we play fast, we get out on the break, and we just constantly keep pushing at the defense end.
Purdue is next on Sunday. Your thoughts on the Boilers?
They're a pretty solid team. I mean, they're a great team in the Big Ten. I played them a couple times in the Big Ten when I was there. I mean, overall, they're a solid team. We got to go out there. We got to be a great defensive team to beat this team coming up.
Appreciate it. We'll see you Sunday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Spiro.
All right, John, what a performance by Malik Renew. Congratulations to Miami.